Stellar Show, Fayette County TV, Channel 77, Breezeline Q Call with myself, Ken Philibom, the Duke, and Stellar Shop Collectibles, and the Uniontown Mall owner, Victor Mullick, for episode 40 of the Stellar Show. What's going on, Victor?
Mom, we made it to the top of the mountain. We've made it to episode 40. Things, we're getting really close to Halloween right now. Don't forget, Spirit of Halloween's up here right now doing a lot of costumes. It's a busy store.
Really is.
Busy time of year. We had a lot of fun there last week with them and meeting their district manager. Learned a lot about how the store works. Spirit of the Children is a wonderful program.
Absolutely, and as the great Antonio Brown would put it, business is booming over there.
It is booming.
But speaking of booming business, we need to take care of the business that supports us the best and the most, and that's Mike Kelly Automotive. It isn't just about cars, it's about trust. With a wide range of vehicles and personalized service, we make your car buying experience easy and enjoyable. Come see why generations have chosen us for their automotive needs. That's Mike Kelly Toyota of Uniontown. I actually saw on my way in, I saw their thing on the back of someone's car. I was like, I wanted to take a picture, but I didn't want to cause a wreck, so.
You got to take care of Duke.
Absolutely.
Duke is going to have some new responsibilities coming up here. As one of the founding members of the show, we think we need his input a little bit too. Stay tuned. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, right. He might help the cause. Speaking of causes and just helping in general, showrunner Adam, he's blowing up my phone this morning. I guess I'm
thinking about banning him from the store at this point because of the fantasy football mouth. He doesn't understand that I'm retired. He beat me by, 75 points this week, so I really don't want to talk about that right now.
Well, that would.
But help's coming. Help's coming in a different way.
Yeah, but you know what? You missed a good time at the Pens game. In fairness to Adam, he did score some pretty good seats. We were about 40 rows behind Jari, which we got to see all those goals up close and in person that he gave up. But, the Polakowskis, the newlyweds joined us. I scouted the road behind us was empty, so I told them to come down, and the ushers didn't give them no crap. So it was a good time. We'll have to get that spliced in.
How did they look in general?
They look better since opening night.
Yeah.
Boy, that was bad.
It's going to be a little bit of a rough season, you think, or is there hope?
You know what? There have been some changes, so you got to give that time to fill itself out. But I don't know if it's not looking good by December. I think it might be time for a change, and it's the same change I've been calling for with the Pirates. And occasionally, I get frustrated with someone in.
Isn't there a cardboard box, a pizza box around here with some kind of similar sentiment on it? I'm still on that bandwagon too.
Yeah, right. I built that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know what? We'll see. You got to give it some time. Like I said, they recovered, though. That's one thing you got to say about that team. Yeah, they took a beating opening night, but they didn't lay down and die. Yeah. So they came back and they've won since. So you know what? There's hope for them. So what else is going on up here in the shop?
Right now, there's a big announcement coming, but I'm not ready to make it just yet. But things are in the hopper right now. We're going to have a big announcement coming up.
Is it bigger than that press conference last week?
That press conference was painful.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. It was a little painful to watch. At the end, I was waiting for you to start crying and put on makeup.
I did after the scene was the makeup part. Get away from me. But there was a tear shed for 24 years of greatness that you have all enjoyed so much, and I know I just can't do it anymore.
He's speaking.
The game has passed me by.
He's speaking to West Virginia Dave when he says you all.
Who we'll probably see this weekend.
All right, so that's about all I got to open this thing up, man. It's a little calm before the storm that we got in the next couple segments. So, anything to add before we close up this segment?
We'll be right back.
Who does that kind of thing? You pull in front of me?
Daddy, we don't say words like that.
Just let your love flow like a mountain.
Good examples. Pass them on.
With the smallest of dreams and let your love show. And you'll know what I mean.
Welcome back to the Stellar Show, Fayette County TV, Channel 77, Breezeline Q Call with myself, Ken Philibom, the Duke, and Stellar's Collectible Shop and Uniontown Mall owner, Victor Mullick. Ooh, that's too many words.
Big time.
All right, man. So we got some mail here. I got some other stuff to deliver before I get delivered some mail. I did remember your ice cream.
I've been waiting for this for quite a while. This is the best ice cream in the world, and every time Ken goes to a game without me, he has to bring me back the best ice cream. And I'm not one of these guys who buy all that Rocky Road and all that fancy schmancy stuff. Vanilla bean is the best because you can put anything on this, and I thank you very
Yes,
much
sir.
for this, sir.
Hey, look, it's all good. You know what? I actually got it for a friend last week. I don't care for it, but I love the name Peachy Paterno.
I get that, but
The
when you're
peach was
eating
enough
it,
for me. It's like, you know, but I love the name Peachy Paterno. I'll tell you what, the pumpkin pie ice cream they put together, whew, it's good stuff. But we got some other mail day. Speaking of which, courtesy of Mean Dean.
I'm legally deaf in the left ear from this stuff. So thank you very much, Dean. If you guys go back and remember, we did the training camp show, and these are the pictures, and I absolutely love getting these, and you're going to love getting these as Christmas presents. This picture is Joey Porter and
Junior
and Nate Herbick tackling, was this the Jacksonville game?
It doesn't matter.
To which this picture is wonderful and it's perfect to be autographed. That's what we're going to shoot for with
the
it.
steel. So what you would do is, and then you'd get the. What I would do is, and I expect both these guys to be at mainline because they were last year. I'd get Porter here, I'd get Herbeck here, and then you get the COAs right there.
Yeah.
Boy, and once you get that framed and matted, you got an awesome piece.
Yeah.
You
and
really
it is
do.
considered game used memorabilia.
Oh, here you go. And for the wrestling fans,
sorry.
maybe go get Tony Khan to sign this.
Oh, nice. Good call. Yeah, thank you very much, Dean. Thank you, Kenny,
Yes, sir.
for this.
But you know what? Let's have some more fun. Since it's Joey Porter Jr. there. Dean put this out last week and got another pair of Joey Porter non-cert gloves. Well,
wow.
These got some wear on them. So they just couldn't pin them to any particular game, which is why they are what they are. But I do believe I have them photo matched. But these are always just... that's just good stuff. Not for you, Dookies. So these would have been definitely worn.
Yeah, they have the NFL logo on the, and these are extra larges. Logos inside of there.
You got this, and they put a little, authenticated on the inside too.
That's the key part. Always look for the authenticated
yes,
part.
sir. So you know what?
Good stuff there.
Magnet to give to the next person that asked for one. I got enough of them. So let's have some fun. We talked about, for the wax segment, I brought from my own personal stash. We've got another pack of the 87 Topps WrestleMania featuring WrestleMania 3. This is WWF. Now, we've been talking about it. Get a lot of requests to do wrestling. And you know what? It's something... I just got to bust on you for something before I get further along because...
What else is new?
Yeah, right? This is something Rick and I have talked off. How you did not watch the Hollywood Hogan era in WCW?
Oh God, no! I'm from Uniontown. This was WWF exclusively. We didn't want anything to do with Flair, with WCW, with all of that stuff.
You missed some good stuff with the Hollywood Hogan character.
I understand what you're trying to tell me, but back then it was extremely territorial. You watched WWF when you came from this area.
I would watch AWA and PWX and whatever would be on at 1 a.m. So.
We were loyal fans to the
I was
Vince
loyal
McMahon.
to all it. But yeah.
Yeah, that's the truth of the matter.
I'm invoking the 5th from there on out. But anyway, let's open this up. All right, so
is there gum in there?
Yes, there is. And so we're looking for a Bret Hart rookie. That's the big rookie.
Now,
to get
Macho Man is alleged to be in here.
He's not in here. He's in here, but his rookie is not in here.
Would it be Miss Elizabeth's rookie?
Nope, and I'm going to touch on that after this. So we got the wrestling referee, Danny Davis. Ricky Steamboat taking a bow. Oh, boy, he used to scare the crap out of me as a kid.
Who's that? Is that Kamala?
You know what? Fun one me and my buddy Ed have talked about. Imagine, I think the Brooklyn Brawler used to dress up as Kim Chi, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
So imagine, you're at a bar afterwards, or let's say the Brooklyn Brawler goes in, let's say they both go in to do their taxes at the same time, right? Let's say they go into one of these places and Kamala's over there and Brooklyn Brawler's over here, but they're dressed normal, and then it's
Kamala's over there, dressed normal.
Well, you know what I meant. You know what? For a guy that was from
doesn't have a bone in his head, but continue on.
You know what? It was always funny too. My buddy Lloyd from work pointed this out. This guy was from Uganda and all this stuff, but he had a vaccine scar on him, which always seemed.
I always enjoyed the scars down the forehead.
Yeah, right. But anyway, let's say can you explain your occupation? Sure. I dress up as a beekeeper while that guy acts like a jungle savage, and we go and participate in a simulated. Choreographed wrestling match.
But how would you not recognize him as the Ugandan giant?
Oh, without that makeup and whatnot. He was a truck driver on the side.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
There's a Hogan.
Yeah, that's a nice Hulk too. That one's a popular one to get signed. That's getting ready for Andre. Oh, was that Killer Khan?
Yeah, that is.
He was one of the first ones to
Mr.
spray
Fuji.
one of the first ones to spray the mist that Muda. Oh, look at that, the King Harley race with the greatest manager of all time, Bobby Heenan.
The brain.
My personal favorite is Jim Cornette, but you can't. But Heenan's the greatest, and this gum is not going to get touched. That's too much mold
There's
on
some
that.
brown growing on the side.
I got to go to my grown-up job after this. So
Now with this, take a picture of this, Rick. If you can see the edge of the card going through the grading process, this just came fresh out of a pack. You can see that there's ripples along the side. You would not send this in to be graded.
No, that surface is horrible. Centering's a little off too.
That's one of the downsides. You think you got a shot at a 10 coming directly out of a pack. We just showed you that more than likely you wouldn't send that card in unless you're a little stupid.
You were asking about
wow.
the Macho Man rookie card. This is the Macho Man rookie card. So 1985 Topps WWF, which I brought from the Ken Cave. This is in the vault. This is an unopened box. So this is Series 1. Series 2 was only released in Canada. It's an OPG exclusive, and the Macho Man rookie card is in that set, as well as Miss Elizabeth. That Bret Hart's rookies then is in the 87, which is this one I just opened. But,
to interrupt you real quick, guys, you cannot believe the condition of this box.
Yep.
And this is just as important as the cards in the packs nowadays. The edges on this box could actually be graded, and it would probably grade quite high.
Oh yeah.
Probably a 7 and an 8 or an 8, and in that era, that's phenomenal.
Rock and Roll would really.
Yeah, you need to really protect that better.
Oh, I do. Trust me.
Compared to this box.
Yeah, go ahead.
Which this is the WrestleMania 3, which this is 2 sets later.
Yeah, the 2 sets. So this is 85, this is 87. Like the Macho Man here, it says 85 on there, but these were released in 86. And why I say that, they have cards from WrestleMania 2 in this set, which took place in 1986. So how can that be 85 unless we get the DeLorean and call up, Christopher Lloyd there, Doc Brown? We can maybe make that work.
What I want to, what I was under the impression was, for some reason, when you look on eBay, they're calling these factory sealed with the tape on it, with the black across it. What do you know about that?
Okay,
part?
I'm glad we're saying. So here's what happened here. We'll put them next to each other. Yeah. So one thing that's nice about this, the way this is, whoever found this probably found these in a storage unit somewhere. And what had happened was, back in the day, and you'll see this with one thing that's nice about this, that black mark does take down the value. Okay. But it also, even though it brings the value down, it authenticates it. Right. So, and why that is what would happen at the time is these vendors, like, that would sell these at the grocery stores, whatever. If they, whenever it was just, okay, hey, this isn't selling, it's out of season, we're taking it off the shelf, whatever, that guy would come in, he would draw the line across it and throw it into the truck, and then eventually it got stored somewhere. But one thing that's nice about that is, most of the time then, that's going to mean that all these packs inside, and just looking at these are pretty good. The roller marks are lining up. Oh yeah. I would so this is that's one thing that's nice about this, and the gum's feeling good just from the outside. That's another thing too to feel for in this old vintage stuff, is making sure the gum's not busted up inside, because a lot of times that's the sign that it's been repacked. And you always want to look for the roll.
That's true too. You got to watch for repacks nowadays more than ever.
Well, we showed last week with that Upper Deck Football. Yeah. So, but like this, the roller marks are lining up from what I can see here, which we'd have to get a magnifying glass out to dissect all that, because that's like, actually, when I put this together, there were some packs in here that were falling apart and whatever, to where I went through a lot of packs to just, I would buy it and I'm like, oh, that one was repacked, okay, this one's good, whatever. So but that being said, like this, so what I would do is,
so this gets the Ken Philibom approval.
Oh yeah,
that they are all correct.
Yeah, and this is good too. The only thing that, like I said, it's a pro and a con. It's a con that you have that on here, but it's a pro because it authenticates it.
Back in the day, they used to do things similar to what Ken's talking about. And I, as a newspaper guy, that what they would do, and I have a million of these, so it doesn't matter, is they would take the newspaper and rip this part off and then give it to you.
Yep.
They wouldn't sell this part, so if you just wanted a copy of the newspaper, you didn't have to pay for it because it was a day old. They also did that thanks to my buddy Dennis, and we were talking about this yesterday. They cut the comic books the same way.
Yep.
So once it was out of date, it was basically garbage, and instead of throwing it away, they would remail that part back. So they would get credit for not having the sale done on it.
So
that's similar to what's going on here.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
No, you're good. So what I would do is, if I bought this, I would go look on eBay or wherever, and I would try to find one of these boxes that don't have the line. Because this box without the line, you could probably find one for $20 or $30, and that's going to bump the value up probably at least $200.
Yeah, because if you go through eBay and certain auction places, you will see that in this era, especially the junk wax era, they're not calling this junk wax. Wrestling's a little different than the baseball junk wax, but people will sell the boxes, and it gets a little shady at that point because hand me the wrapper.
Yep. Oh, sorry, bud.
You will find these are somewhat of a hot item to the repacker.
Yeah, you know
so
what?
They will sell the wax pack, the wrapper itself. The further back you get, the more value there is. This is why what Ken showed you is so important to understand about how a box is put together, that you can find repacks in there. People aren't always honest.
There's some serious scumbags out there. Back in
There are.
what was it, during the pandemic, I was buying, selling, whatever, and out of the blue, a package shows up at my house that I didn't order. Someone sent to me by accident. I open it up, and there was 50 1970 Topps baseball wax empty wrappers like this. And then I get a message from the guy like later that day. Hey, did you by chance get blah blah blah? Can you send them to this person? And I called the person out for being a horrible human being. But we got to show one more thing before we wrap this up. So we're having some fun here. Recently, something I picked up in the mail. You might want to get in on this.
My.
We got
The body.
So we talked about with these autographs, right? I got this one cheap. If you remember one of our early episodes, this is personalized to someone. So it doesn't really have a lot of value, but it has a lot of value to me because, number one, it's Jesse Ventura. That's an awesome picture. And
American hero.
Absolutely. More reasons than one, right? But and he ain't got time to bleed.
Wow.
But for those back on the home front, it did help inspire this back in the day.
That is wonderful.
So, woo! And you know what? And I'll get Rick to splice in the picture. You'll like this. So I had to get up that this was part of for the basketball games, right? And
it is called a feather boa.
That's
to
right.
those who do not know.
And nobody wore it better than Ventura.
No, absolutely
I mean,
not.
I'm close, but I'm not close enough, right? But so anyway, I would wear this to the basketball games, wrestling matches, whatever, for high school. And one of our glass factories in town, when Bush got inaugurated, it was the big story in the front of the paper, you know, that something from Mount Pleasant was part of that. And then in the bottom corner is a picture of me wearing all this stuff. We're going to end this segment on that. We'll be back.
You broke out the feather boa.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! That's good stuff. Hey, start this up. I'm going to go put this in the refrigerator. I'm not letting this get screwed up. Go ahead, do your thing.
Make sure to keep Adams out. Showrunner Adams, that is. Well, welcome back to the closing segment of the Stellar Show with myself, Ken Philibom, the Duke, and whatever Victor's doing with his ice cream over there. Once again, I'd like to thank Mike Kelly Toyota of Uniontown. Thanks for sponsoring us in this segment. We got some picks to make, Victor. Get back over here.
All right, first thing we're going to do here is we're going to look at the college ranks. And right now, Penn State and Ohio State are on a bye this week. Breaks my heart to not have Penn State playing, but I am officially starting. We'll talk about this eventually.
That's already been started, man.
They started this?
Oh, yeah.
Well, the Stellar Show is officially on board with this
sir.
right now. As Penn State takes the week off, this young man should be considered, he should be a top
He's the
5.
front runner right now.
That's what I like to hear.
I don't know, like, I mean, I like what Hunter out in Colorado is doing, but I don't know. No, I mean, Tyler Warren's, I mean, it's not even a debate at this point. I don't know who's in the conversation.
And a hat tip to Kolowicki with the play where Warren snaps the ball for the touchdown.
Well, you know
it's
what?
legal.
I'm sorry, that double pass from my man Drew Aller here.
That's the way you've got to play football in this day and age.
I was waiting for that all year when they're both out there. Even Bo can throw a good ball too. I was waiting for that all year, and I'm glad that they finally busted that out. And you know what? One thing, if you remember, you called me and they were down 2 touchdowns, and we were
I was
both,
frustrated in that first half.
Going to relive that scene from all the right moves and make a trip up to State College.
6'2" stack monster. Anyway, continuing on.
We, you know what? That's why I like this team this year is they didn't give up. They fought back.
That's a sign of a championship team right now. This is a team that's on the right trajectory. They're doing things. And good job, James Franklin, for stopping them from planting the flag. That's a class move.
Really
good job on that.
Yeah, you know what? There's no.
You're mimicking somebody else to start with. It's not an original. That's number one. Number
necessary.
2, right.
It's just dumb. Honestly, I don't know. Like, maybe if you were playing one of these schools like Akron or Pitt or Syracuse or something, you could do that, but not like someone you just invited to the Big Ten.
Right.
So let's get into
this. The big game this weekend is number 1 Texas is at home in a 3.5-point dog to Georgia, who's number 5 right now, and the over/under in this game is 56.5.
Texas is tough. I can't bet against them. I'll take them in the over.
I'm going with Georgia in the upset and the under on this one. I'd love to see where it's Ohio State and Penn State as 1 and 2 in the country. There's a laugher in Purdue. Oregon, number 2, is 27.5 against Purdue. The over is 58.5.
Over hits.
Think Oregon scores 59?
I don't think they cover. They beat them, but you know what? I saw a lot of holes in that Oregon team against Ohio State. So that's just my opinion. So I'll take the Oregon wins, but they don't cover 27.5, and I do believe that the over hits.
I think Oregon just slaughters Purdue. Purdue's struggling. They're going to be a bottom feeder for a while in the Big Ten. Going on, we're going to go to Tennessee next. Number 11 Tennessee is a 2.5-point underdog to number 7 Alabama, who really didn't look well last week at all. Probably could have lost that game 3 or 4 different times.
Roll Tide. They're going to bounce back. I'll take them over Tennessee. I'll take the under.
I like Alabama to win the game by a point, so I'm taking the points with Tennessee and going over in that game. Poor Mountaineers, they got to play Kansas State at home.
Yeah, that's a good team.
Kansas State's giving West Virginia 3 at Morgantown. That line's telling you something.
Yeah, it really is. That's interesting.
Yeah, they're looking at West Virginia as an upset. I'm taking West Virginia with the 3 points, and again, I'm going under.
I'll take Kansas State in the over.
Okay, so now we're going on to the NFL. I believe that's a rematch of the Super Bowl, correct?
Possibly. It's all blur anymore.
The Chiefs and the 49ers. The 49ers right now are at 3-3, and they are the favorites in this game at home against Patrick Mahomes coming off the bye.
Brock Purdy wants paid. He's going to light it up. So I'm going to take the 49ers and the over.
As bad as the Chiefs have looked in the beginning of this season, last year and the year, I believe, before, coming back from the bye, it's a whole different story. Andy Reid gets serious and they start playing football. I look for the Chiefs to absolutely slaughter them by probably more than 10. Last time I told you to tease a game, didn't work for me, but to go with that on this one, look for the Chiefs to win by 10, and the 46.5, it should go over that. Probably the most interesting game of the week is the next one. The Ravens -3 in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's a hot team.
They're an interesting team. You go first, sir.
I'm going to take the Buccaneers at home with the 3.5, and this game's going to be low scoring. I don't believe 48.5 is. That's going to go under.
It's painful because they're competition to the Steelers, but I like what's going on in Baltimore. I'll take them, and I'll take the under.
Next game, the Bungles versus the Brownies. Do you even care? It's a 1-4 and a 1-5 or whatever. So we're going to go on to the Sunday night game, which give them a little bit of history on this back-to-back Sunday night games for the Steelers.
Well, it wouldn't be back-to-back. It's a sandwich. Yeah, but no, they did that back in 2017. It was. I remember there was a Sunday night game with the Packers because I was at there was 3 weeks in a row where I was at that Packer game because that came down to a last-second field goal, and then I believe, and then the Ravens were the week after. That came down to a drive where they stopped Flacco and the crew on the last seconds. I remember there were some Ravens fans in my section that I gave a hard time to that night.
So here's a line is a problematic.
Yeah, then they were prime time with the Patriots and the Jesse James catch game was the week after. But go ahead, sorry.
But looking at the line on this game, it's a little strange as well. The Steelers are getting 1.5 points in New York from the Jets.
Oof. That's
a strange line right
yeah,
there.
I don't know what's going on there. Maybe they're factoring into dysfunction that's coming from Pickens because he's starting to become a problem. So that's
But the
only
Jets
thing.
on a short week at home.
Yeah, that's true too. So
Yeah.
I mean, I like the Steelers and I like the over personally, but as far as but I think the Jets are a bigger dumpster fire than all the stuff that you can, hit.
That feather bow's giving you problems.
Oh, yeah, it really is. It's still it's starting to catch up to me here.
I'm taking, as much as this pains me to do, the line's telling me something's wrong. I'm taking the Jets in this game and under. I don't think either one of these teams score points.
Just
but,
end the season.
yeah, I like the under a whole lot more, but why 1.5?
You know what? While we're talking Steelers, how about Najee Harris that you always like to dump on?
I would like to make something abundantly clear right now. My problem with Najee Harris has been he doesn't hit the hole hard. You're trying to jump me on this because for the first time all year, he hit the hole hard.
Yeah,
if that's the Najee that's the Najee you drafted in the first round. He looked wonderful. For all my criticism of him, this was the way I wish he would play. He might only last a year and a half playing like that,
I'm sorry.
but he looked like Cordell Patterson at that point.
We always had to hear these excuses from the people that dumped on him, and I'm
one of them. No, I'll take it.
Not from this angle. Well, Kenny Pickett didn't have a line. Well, but the same people then would. I'm sorry, the running back needs a line more than the quarterback.
Absolutely correct.
So,
absolutely correct.
Harris needs to go. It's like you can't make the excuse one way. And for the record, he's a straight ahead runner, and
I loved what I saw. I loved what he looked like.
Like this jumping up and down trying to be Saquon Barkley, you will be not for
hit
long.
the hole. I used to get yelled at in the old days of playing football. Get as many yards as you can. Don't bounce outside. If the play gives you where you can get 7, take the 7. That's the way he's running right now. Take the 7.
I'm announcing the junior football playoffs the other day, and I watched this kid. He probably ran 70 yards all to game 2.
Yes, stop doing that, guys.
North and
Hit the
south.
hole. Hit the hole.
Save yourself.
100% agreed on
man.
that.
That's about all I got. Anything on your end?
Right there.
We're
Heisman.
warm for Heisman, and we'll see you next week. Rise Wrestling is next.